𝗦𝗫𝗻 Arjuna 𝗪ातुं द्रष्टुं तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च Paranthrapa. I'll include the points of Srila Prabhupada in the lecture and I'll just begin. 𝗬𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 ज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can you please come here, because otherwise he seems funny. Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, now it seems good. Okay, so here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that actually this is a very nice verse. Luckily we got this verse here. Even before that, now Krishna he's actually making some good points. And the points he is making is, he is telling that bhaktya tu ananya shakya. The whole point is bhaktya. Bhaktya means through devotion. Prabhupada writes word to word meaning as by devotional service. So he is making the point that if you want to attain him, it's only by devotional service. Okay, now the question comes, are there any other methods to attain Krishna? Now suppose if I tell you, you can attain, you can go to, from here you can, for example, you can go to Bracknell, if you want to go to, okay, if you want to go to Heathrow Airport, you can go through only by M25. So this means that there should be other ways, other complicated ways by the way. But I am saying you can go only through M25. So this means Krishna is saying through devotional service, tu means but, tu means only in Sanskrit, only by devotional service. Other ways are there to attain God, but they cannot help you to attain Krishna as devotional services. That's the whole point there. You can go to Heathrow Airport only by M25. You can take other routes also, but that will be complicated. Some bypass, some shortcuts, and something you can do. So that is why Krishna says only devotional service. There is process of jnana, there is process of yoga, there is process of tapasya. There are so many processes, speculative processes. But devotional service is not only it is can give you realization of God in completeness. The maximum what they can do is, maximum they can help you realize His power. Prabhupada is only He can understand. Actually, kathita He, only He can understand. Others can hear, others can read, but they cannot understand. That's the whole point. Because there is so much information in Vedic scriptures, there is so much information about devotional service. People read about devotional service, people talk about devotional service, but very few can understand it, leave alone realization. So you need some kind of, okay, now here the question comes, why do we need a guru to understand the process? You can read the book. What's the problem in there? Why do we need a guru? Okay, can anybody close this? Can you close this gate? This is crazy. So why do you need a person? Somebody can say, okay, we can read devotional books and we can attain Krishna. Simple. But Prabhupada says, but this verse says, 𝗙𝗲𝗹𝗋 𝗪𝗲. You should have devotion for Krishna and the same type of devotion, the same depth of devotion to the spiritual master. So that means you need a person. Now what a person does is, you see scriptures, even devotional scriptures without a person can be confusing. Just like suppose we say Bhagavad Gita is quite plain and clear and simple. But the whole point is, even Bhagavad Gita is confusing if we don't read through the purports of Srila Prabhupada. Now, purports are like a person who's giving us a help. So like for example, there's a verse. Actually, I have to do something. So for example, there's a verse there, Bhagavad Gita. What's that verse? 𝗪 𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀 𝗪𝗂𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀𝗪. Krishna says, only by bhakti you can cross the material modes of nature. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. But then the whole question comes, if by bhakti you can cross modes of material nature, there is another verse in 18th chapter. Krishna says, Brahm bhuta prasanna atmana shoshati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labhate param. Krishna says only after crossing modes of material nature you can attain bhakti. So it's a chicken egg problem, am I right? In one verse he says, Sagunan samtityan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. By bhakti you can cross modes of nature. In another verse he says, only after crossing modes of nature you get bhakti. So what to do? It's confusing. So you need a purport. So scriptures have so much knowledge that sometimes it becomes very confusing. The instructions are completely upside down. Just like Vedic Bhakti and Hare Krishna. So just like Vedic Bhakti and Raghunaga Bhakti. And now Vedic Bhakti we are doing in rules and regulations, and Raghunaga Bhakti is a different kind of devotion. Now what's the difference? You see, many rules in Vedic Bhakti do not apply in Raghunaga Bhakti. That's how it goes. And not rules, basically concepts. There are some concepts which just go upside down in Raghunaga Bhakti. And that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, people who follow Vedic Bhakti, many people who follow Vedic Bhakti, they might criticize devotees who are in Raghunaga Bhakti because they don't understand what's going there. Because for example, Vedic Bhakti is inspired. Now this word is important. Vedic Bhakti is inspired by scriptural logic. But Raghunaga Bhakti is not inspired by scriptural logic. It can be supported by scriptural logic, but Raghunaga Bhakti is inspired by the greed, the attachment to Krishna. Am I right? There's a difference there. In Vedic Bhakti, a devotee comes from Mangalarti just because his guru has ordered, and he feels if he doesn't come from Mangalarti, he'll do offense. In Vedic Bhakti, a person chants and completes 16 rounds because he feels, well, if I don't chant, it'll be offense. I promised to my guru. But in Raghunaga Bhakti, in Raghunaga Bhakti, it doesn't mean that he's sleeping in Mangalarti. He comes from Mangalarti, he chants 16 rounds, but it's not due to fear of offenses, or it's not due to because simply Guru has said. He understands why he has to come. Now he knows he has to come for pleasure of Krishna. He is attached to the Mangalarti. That's how it goes. It's attached. Oh, you know what? If you come a little forward, people will not really cross you. Yeah, they have some space to go behind. It's a different kind of model here. Okay. So that's the whole point. So there is a difference here. So scriptures are clear and evident to a person who has knowledge, but to a person who doesn't have depth and knowledge, for them scriptures are self-contradictory. That's how it goes. It contradicts itself. Although it doesn't contradict itself, but the people who don't have knowledge, for them it can be contradictory. Mataji, can you please close that door? I don't know, somebody, they should have a automatic door closer there. It's such a big temple, you know. It's such a simple thing. Yeah, you're right. So like that. So So you see the point. That is why Prabhupada says we have to need a living person. Now you might say, okay, all the confusion in scriptures are solved by Srila Prabhupada's purports. So we don't need a living person there, am I right? There are many philosophies which argue against getting a living guru. They are philosophies, I don't want to speak about them, but they are philosophies. And they say, okay, books are enough, Prabhupada purports are there, why do you need a living person? We can directly connect ourselves to Prabhupada. There are so many, isn't it? So there's so many nonsense philosophies. So, but then the whole problem is the purports of Srila Prabhupada can be confusing. What do you do about that? Because Prabhupada, it's not confusing because it is confusing. It is confusing because people have not read Prabhupada books properly. That's the whole point. And more than that, it is confusing because Prabhupada gives many instructions to many people according to time, place, circumstance first, and second according to the level of the devotee. See, instructions in scriptures are given according to level of devotees. Just like Prabhupada once he said, Srila Prabhupada says the best, to one devotee said, the best service is preaching. To another devotee said, the best service is Govinda's restaurant. Then what do you do with that? To Jamna Mataji, I think, so actually so which Mataji used to do painting? Jadurani or who was that? These paintings of Prabhupada's time. Who was a female painter there? Yes, somebody. So this to this Mataji, Prabhupada wrote a letter and he told, well, painting is the best service to Krishna. So then there are so many instructions. What do you do with that? So to harmonize them, you need a person, you need a living person. Otherwise, you will get lost in Prabhupada purports. That's all. And also, you know what, Prabhupada speaks so many things in his purports, but the whole point is, what is more important for us and what is less important in our situation, that a living person has to tell you. Prabhupada has said so many, just like for example, many people meet me and they ask me, Prabhuji, whether we should marry or not, whether we should remain brahmachari or not. Okay. So, Prabhupada has said so many things about brahmacharya and also many things about grihastha ashram. Prabhupada has said in his books, household ashram is very nice and you can have a wife and both husband and wife can be devotees and they can do Krishna consciousness together. That's also there. Prabhupada has many letters to his devotees and he blesses household couples. Prabhupada, in fact, he himself made arranged marriages for his devotees on pandal. But at the same time, Prabhupada has also said that there are that celibacy is the best if you can be celibate. So many devotees come and ask me now what to do. What I should suggest them. So I tell them, the best instruction for you is remain brahmachari. And to another person I might tell, the best person for you is enter married life. So I have to see practically what that person is situated in. So that is why to understand God, you need three things. Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. All the three things play a role. We cannot understand God. Devotion is not just God. And devotion is not just about scriptures. Devotion is also not just about Guru. If you have a Guru and if you don't have scripture, it's nonsense. Right? That's useless Guru. If you have scriptures, if you don't have Guru, you can't understand scriptures. Contradiction in scriptures and you can't go in depth. If you have God and if you don't have scriptures and Guru, you can't approach him. Because you don't know who is this person, who is Krishna, who will give you information. So one without each other doesn't make any sense. So that's why you need all the three. Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. And that's how it becomes complete. That's why Krishna says, Bhaktiya tu Ananya 𝗪𝗖𝗓𝗪. Bhaktiya means through devotion. Now devotion means Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. Devotion doesn't mean sentimental feelings. That is not devotion. Devotion, I mean to say, Hinduism is all about this nowadays. A sentimental devotion, some feelings, and some rituals. Hinduism is not largely also feelings nowadays. It's most of it has gone down to rituals. I mean to say, Hinduism is not also rituals, because at least ritualistic people are very pakka in their rituals and timings. Hinduism is now 𝗙𝗃𝗧. You know 𝗙𝗃𝗧? Yeah, 𝗙𝗃𝗧. It's a hodgepodge of complete useless ideas. Even in China, China had a lot of rituals, and China had a lot of culture, has lots of culture by the way nowadays, like previously, even now. But now even China is like complete hodgepodge. So why it's like that? Because they are missing this important, what do we say? How do we say? Trinity. Let's put it like that. The Trinity of Gaudiya Vaishnavism is Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. All the three meanings. That is devotion. So Krishna says, Bhaktya tu Ananya, Bhaktya tu, only by such kind of devotion. That's why he says only. Not your speculative devotion, you can understand me. Only by such kind of devotion where there is dedication to Guru, scriptures and saints. Saints here means tradition. Tradition, what goes in tradition. Only he can, Ananya Shakya. Ananya means without being mixed with speculation. Anya means others, Ananya means not others. So how should we do devotion to Krishna? That's the question. We should do devotion to Krishna without any material desires. That's the whole point. Without any stupid ideas of your own. I mean to say, without any stupid ideas. What is a stupid idea? Whatever you think, that's stupid. That's a definition of stupidity. That's all. Whatever I think, whatever we think by mind, that is stupidity. And that's not a usual definition, by the way. People think stupidity means you should have bad logic. But the whole point is, whatever mind thinks, mostly it's a bad logic, because mind is thinking in a very limited frame of time and space. We don't know what we are thinking, what are the consequences of the thoughts. So that's why Bhagavatam says, Manor 𝗙𝗃𝗧𝗪𝗃. People who are what do we say? People who are riding on the chariot of mind, they will meet an accident, for sure. They cannot walk on the path of devotion. Their chariot will go here and there. So that's called stupidity. Only a person who is leading his life according to logic of scriptures, Shastra Yukti, and through scriptures, injunctions and conduct. Hare Krishna. Only he can, I just forgot by that, what I was speaking. Only person who follows spiritual logic and scriptures, only he is intelligent and wise, otherwise all people are stupid. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Ya Shastram idemutssrijya vartate kamakarata. In 16th chapter, Krishna says, people who don't follow scriptural logic and intelligence and scriptures, they will be confused and they will be deluded. That's how it goes. So that's the meaning of Ananya. Anya means anything besides scriptures. Whether my intelligence, whether this person's intelligence, whether the intelligence of the most intelligent person, we can't rely on intelligence of humans. We have to rely on godly intelligence. Intelligence coming from above. Otherwise, we'll be confused. No matter how much intelligent we are. That's called Ananya. Without any material desires and without any material ideas. So we have to do devotion without any desire. Now material desires, so what do you mean by material desires? Material desires, one meaning is very obvious, desires for matter. Am I right? Desires for anything which is material, which is made of matter. So, another meaning for material desires is selfish desires. That's also called material desires. Now, there's a difference for that. There's a difference. Now, okay, for example, if I desire a car, a smartphone or something without any purpose, if there's a purpose, that's okay. If you need that, that's okay. But if you don't need it and still you desire, that's called material desire. Like it's cold, now I need a jacket. So whether it is a material desire or not, no, it's not a material desire. Because I need it, otherwise I'll die. So a desire for sustenance of life, that's okay. But a desire for luxury and artificial needs, that's called material desire. That is one level of material desire. Another level of material desire is a selfish desire. Desiring anything for oneself, for one's enjoyment, that's called material desires. And that can happen in a devotional service also. I mean to say, if you come to temple and if in temple so many things are going on and you get prasad also. But now you're full, but so somebody comes and gives you some prasad and you honor it and then you want more. Why? Because you like it. Now that's a material desire. Because it's not the question you like or not like. The question is whether Krishna is happy or not. So that is a very selfish desire. You don't need prasad. It was given to you. You have honored it, and that's okay. That's called selfishness. So selfish material desires. You can have lot of material desires even while following a spiritual path. It's not necessary that a person who is following spiritual path, who is a saint and who is a sannyasi, it's not that he doesn't have material desires. Material desires come in a very subtle form. Material desires can come in form of power, name and fame. That can come. So Krishna uses this word Ananya. Please do devotion. In devotion, you should just focus on me. Okay, what does a devotee want? I want Krishna, nothing else. That's all. I don't want personal benefit. I don't want happiness. I don't want satisfaction. I don't want peace. I don't want release from birth, death, disease and old age. Hare Krishna. I want silence. That's what we require, at least silence. That's not a material desire. So, we don't want all these things. So, if you ask a devotee, what exactly you want? Okay, do you want God? Do you want God or not? What do you say about that?
Yes, of course.
Of course, yeah, of course. But think about it. If you say you want God, it can be a material desire. You know why? Because you might want God for your own bliss and happiness. You see the point, the purpose? Or you might want God to kill him. 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, if you would have asked 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, do you want Vishnu? Yes, I want him at any cost, but his agenda was to kill him. So the whole point is, even if you say I want God, that can be material desire. Or okay, fine. Do you want spiritual? You want to go back to spiritual world? It can be a material desire if you want to go back to spiritual world just to escape from the sufferings of material world. That's your own selfish agenda. So what's the answer? What do you want? If Krishna says, and he's pretty clever, he can prove that this is a material desire. He can argue back.
Maybe it should be that all I want is to serve Krishna.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's what we desire. We always want to serve him. Or in technical language, we want love of God. Krishna Prem Pumarthova. And that's why Mahaprabhu said, our goal of life is not God. The goal of life is love of God. That's what Krishna says there. And it makes a lot of sense, because without love, God has no meaning. There's no meaning. You can be sleeping with God on the same bed, or you can be sitting with him on the same couch. But at the same time, you can be complete non-devotee. You can be like that. But a pure devotee, he might be separated from God miles and miles apart, but he can be a pure devotee. Why? Because he has love. That is why you see Srila Prabhupada and all these people, they came to this material world so far and far and far from Goloka, but nevertheless they are connected to him. And there were many people who were with Krishna when Krishna came here. In Dwarka, Krishna was there. And we read from history, we read from Harivansh Puran. In Dwarka, there were devotees and there were non-devotees. So, from where all these non-devotees were coming? Well, Dwarka was doing export and import. We know that. Dwarka was doing export. Historically, we know there were ships, there was a port, and there are all descriptions, and Krishna was doing export. I mean, Krishna was a king, isn't it? And mostly because Dwarka is on Gujarat side, so they were doing export and import with Europe and with Arab countries, and also China, because Silk Route, we know it is just 5,000 years back, am I right? It's not a big, it's not millions of years. We know this history through Mahabharata, Harivansh Puran, and through archaeological findings. We have this. So people were coming, non-devotees were coming, visiting Dwarka. So they were non-devotees, devotees, and these people who were non-devotees, they were meeting Krishna also sometimes. If they were big businessmen, they would have met the king or the prime minister. And but the whole point is, they were with God, they saw God, but they didn't have a connection with him, am I right?
Also Duryodhana also, he was there, but...
Oh yeah, actually Duryodhana, he was there.
Yeah, he never had connection either.
He used to talk with Krishna, he used to do everything with Krishna, but...
Only diplomacy.
Yeah. Oh, actually, how long this will go? It's a difficult thing to speak. Hare Krishna. Okay, so that's the meaning of Ananya. Ananya means only Krishna. We are not even concerned with demigods, by the way. That is why you see many people come in ISKCON, they say, well, you only have Krishna, where is Durga, where is Shiva, where is Brahma? Where is Durga, where is Shiva, where is Brahma? Shiva is in Kailash, Brahma is in Satyaloka, and Durga Devi is in her own Loka, that's all. But they are not in Bhaktivedanta Manor, because here only Krishna is there, because we are concerned with Krishna. Why you are concerned with Krishna and not with these demigods? These demigods are so big people. Well, we give all respect to them, but we are not talking about respect, we are talking about love. A king is concerned about everybody, but if you go to his home, you don't find everyone. You only find his wife and his children. And you can say, oh, king, you are not connected to anybody. You are useless because you don't have everyone in your house. You are not concerned, you are not compassionate. Come on, it's my house. So that's the whole point. For devotees, this is the house of God. Krishna and his devotees, that's all. That is called Ananya, a fixed goal. Krishna says only by this kind of devotion, Shakya. Shakya means possible. Oh, actually one of the names of Buddha was Shakyamuni. You know that? Lord Buddha one of the names is Shakyamuni. Shakya was his clan's name, tribe name, but the meaning of Shakya is to make possible. Buddha made that thing possible which is impossible for mortals. He crossed over birth, death, disease, old age by his determination and his focus. So that's the same word he's using, Shakya. This Shakya is a Sanskrit word. It's also a Pali word. You know Pali? Buddhism is in Pali. So they borrowed the same word from a Sanskrit word. So it is possible by this kind of devotion. And by this kind of devotion, what do you get? You get aham. Aham means you get me. And that's a good bargain, by the way. That's a good bargain. You get Krishna. That's all. So, well, you might say, well, what's the point of getting Krishna? Why don't we get dollars or pounds or something else? But the point of getting Krishna is, Krishna says, if you get me, you get everything. Sarvam evam. This Prabhupada quotes from Upanishads. Prabhupada quotes there Oh yeah, from Gita. Gita is the verse. Yam ladvana cha param labham. Manyate na tat athikam. Krishna says, if you get me, you will not hanker for anything else. Because I am complete. I can make possible impossible. If I am with you, everyone is with you. If Krishna is favorably disposed to us, if we are connected to him, if we love Krishna, everybody will love us. If we are envious of him, everybody will be envious of us. And that's why you see many people complain, this devotee is disturbing me, this devotee is disturbing me, this is a problem. In temples this happens, am I right? But the whole point is nobody is disturbing you. The fact people are disturbing you, why? Because you are disturbing Krishna. That's the whole point. Whatever we give, that will come back. So if we disturb Krishna, Maya is going to disturb you. Because you are disturbing her Lord. Am I right? And then Maya will use other people to disturb you. She doesn't come personally. She will inspire other devotees. Okay, disturb him. Disturb him. And the whole point is, that's why Krishna says, if you understand the whole drama there, you will understand behind everything, I am there. I am there. So if you get me, if you get connected to me, everything gets solved. That's all. So Krishna says, Aham evam vidho Arjuna. Evam vidho means to know. By the way, what Prabhupada writes, evam vidho means like this. You will attain me. Evam vidho. Vidho means through this vidhi. Vidhi means what? Vidhi means technique. By the prescription of devotion. What kind of devotion? Pure devotion, which is unmixed, which is unalloyed, without any desires, without any stupidity, through scriptural knowledge, logic, devotion which is sustained on Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, you can attain me. Now Krishna is making very important point. These two lines are many times commented by so many acharyas, and very important line in Bhagavad Gita, at least philosophically. Okay, now Krishna says, you'll attain me. Now what? Now Krishna says, well, attaining me is not the goal of life. Gyatum, you have to understand me. You attain me, and after attaining me, then you should go into the mysteries of my existence through depth of your devotion. Because many people have attained Krishna, but they have not attained the same depth as gopis have attained. Am I right? There's a difference. Pandavas are also devotees of Krishna, gopis are also there, Mathura Vasis are there, but the devotion of gopis is the best. So Gyatum means to know. You attain me, and then you try to know me in depth. That's how it goes. And that is very important, Gyatum. Gyatum means to know. And to know means to understand. To understand means to use intelligence. So Krishna is saying, you see, when you become a devotee, don't lose your intelligence. Because generally, when people become devotee, they become really dull and stupid. I don't know why, but it's like that. But why? Because people think in devotion there is no role of intelligence. Why? Because people think that intelligence destroys devotion, it blocks devotion. I mean, people, at least Sahijas think like that. They go, no, not much logic. Just keep your logic and intelligence beside. Just chant and be happy. But it's not so easy. In fact, so I was just talking about this. There is a book written by 𝗪𝗪 Thakur, 𝗪𝗪 𝗪𝗪. You want to have a look. And that book, 𝗪𝗪 Thakur is writing, rag means spontaneous attachment and devotion. And 𝗪𝗪 means path, the path of spontaneous devotion. Now in that book, right in the beginning he says, those people are sthula buddhi. Sthula buddhi means those people are dull-minded who think that there is no role of intelligence in devotion on the path of raga. He says, on the other hand, when you develop spontaneous attachment to Krishna, you need more intelligence. You know why? Because when you are attached to Krishna, you need more intelligence to serve Him very nicely. Isn't it? A mother who is attached to child, she serves the child. But she has to use her intelligence to actually make her child into a very nice and good person. Am I right? They have to use intelligence to search for the school of the, okay, which school should I put my child? The best school. So you have to use intelligence to search for a good school. And the best food I have to give. Okay, so the mother goes to the shop and she will look for the best food. Am I right? So you need intelligence. So that's why Krishna says, 𝗬𝗪𝗻. You try to know me. Apply all your intelligence. Actually, love is all about using everything for Krishna. The more you are attached to Krishna, the more intelligence you'll use to serve Him and to understand Him. On the contrary, what people say, what foolish people say, they say you have to suspend your intelligence and just flow in the emotions, but that doesn't happen like that. So 𝗬𝗪𝗻, yeah. So how to use intelligence in service of Krishna? You read about Him. Read scriptures. By scriptures you will know Him. You will know what He wants. Am I right? If you serve Krishna, you should know what He wants. How He wants to be done. And for that you have to be very expert. Prabhupada says, be expert in Krishna consciousness. So that's what is 𝗬𝗪𝗻. So that is why devotees, Prabhupada says, people who don't read books, they can't serve Krishna properly. Because they don't have knowledge. People who don't hear properly, they can't actually serve Him properly. And that is, by the way, that's a function of a temple, to make people hear more and more and more and more and more and more. That's what is temple for. Prabhupada says temple is an educational institute. It's there to give education to people, to make them understand, okay, what this person wants from us. What desires he have, how can we fulfill that? That is 𝗬𝗪𝗻. And when you try to understand God, then what happens is next is drashtum. Drashtum means to see. Now here to see doesn't mean to see, just like I'm seeing you. Here seeing means to go in the depth of the subject. You see? Oh, you see. I say you see. In English we say you see. So what do I mean? You see what? That means, have you understood the concept or not? So maybe if there's a problem and we tell to some expert, okay, can you see into this problem? So that seeing means, can you analyze it? So drashtum means here to see. Now that comes at various levels. The whole point is, when you understand God, when you try to apply your intelligence, what happens is, slowly and slowly you will access a depth of devotional service, access the mysteries of Krishna. Now one of the mystery of Krishna is all powerful, and Krishna is all sweet, and Krishna is all God, and Krishna is all foolish person. Now you might say, what the hell is this? He's a fool? He's a fool. He's the greatest fool. Now you might say, what I'm talking about. But Prabhupada says, he's the greatest in everything. Prabhupada said that. Prabhupada says, one devotee was there, he was saying, Prabhupada, I'm very humble. Prabhupada says, no. The most humble is Krishna. Krishna is the most in everything. Who is the greatest cheater? Krishna. He is the greatest fool? Krishna. But what do we mean by that? Well, in Vrindavan, he acts like a foolish person. That's all. He doesn't act like an intelligent person in Vrindavan. He acts like absolutely foolish person. That's all is Vrindavan all about. In front of gopis, in front of Yashoda Ma, Nand Baba, he's acting like a foolish boy. What do we say? Pranky? Yeah, he's doing pranks and all these things. Can you close this door? So that's how it goes. So that is drashtum. You see drashtum? When you try to understand Krishna and you try to 𝗬𝗪𝗻, when you put intelligence in scriptures, then you will enter the mysteries of God, and you will understand that, well, this is a mystery, because so many Vedas, they say God is the supreme intelligence, He's the supreme power. But here is Vrindavan, where you can understand that that supreme person is playing as a role of supremely foolish person. And is he really foolish? Yes, he is really foolish. Is he really intelligent? Yes, he is really intelligent. How does it happen? It happens in Vrindavan, that's all. That's what is mystery all about. That is drashtum. You will start seeing reality. Vedyam vastavam vastu atra shivadam tapryanunmulanam. The reality of God that will reveal to you. That is called drashtum. And then finally, the whole spiritual world will be open for you. I mean to say, you will start seeing God as God. Not God as what you want God as to be. You will see God as God wants Him to be seen. There's a difference there. He will reveal Himself to you. So, Gyatum drashtum tatvena. Tatvena means, Krishna says here, tatvena means, tatvena means in reality, or in fact. Prabhupada says in fact. Tattva is a very philosophical word. Tatvena means in reality, without any kind of blind, without any kind of wall of speculation. You can see as it is. Like for example, if you want to see this mic in Tatvena, in reality, this mic is all about electrons and protons and quantum, isn't it? So that's Tatvena, as He is. Just like Bhagavad Gita is as it is. You can see God as He is. Tatvena praveshtum cha Paranthrapa. And the third word is praveshtum. When you can understand Him, gyatum, when you can see Him as He is, then praveshtum, then you can enter Him. Now this word enter, praveshtum, is very important. Pravesh means to enter, and the whole point is to enter Him. Enter Him means, Krishna says, 𝗦𝗙𝗶𝗶𝗄 𝗪𝗲. A devotee enters my heart and I enter his heart. That's the meaning of enter. Then you can become, enter means you can then, when you become perfect devotee, Krishna will enter you in His personal books. That's all. Krishna has a personal diary, but He doesn't write everybody's name there. If you're very true and fixed to Him, and you can understand Him, then He will enter Him in the diary. Praveshtum cha Paranthrapa. And that's what Krishna says, O mighty armed one. He uses the word of Arjuna, Paranthrapa. Paranthrapa means, tapa means sufferings, and paran means to others. Arjuna was a mighty warrior, and he could, if he wanted, he could have messed up anybody. So Krishna uses this word Paranthrapa. Krishna is reminding Arjuna, Arjuna, if you want to attain me, if you want to do devotion to me, you have to be very, very focused and to put all your efforts, extraordinary endeavors or mighty efforts. That's what he said. And that's what is this verse about. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Is there any questions? We have 5 minutes there. So I just wanted to finish quickly. Okay, just wait a minute. I was just talking about mighty efforts. I have 3 books. If anybody wanted this book, you can contact me outside. I just wanted to tell this. This is about mighty efforts. That's what I was talking. Mighty efforts. Efforts. I was telling how to put efforts in devotion. That's this book all about. And whether we are advancing or not advancing, how to discriminate between illusion and Krishna, wrong feelings and true feelings. This needs quite a bit of discrimination. All these things I have put in this book. And there's another book, Crazy Ideas. I think many people are crazy. They have so many crazy ideas, so many scriptures, so many gods, so many religions, aliens, ghosts, and so many things. All those points are there in this book, and I put in this book with arguments from theology, theosophy, Quran, Bible, Zen, Tao, all religions, Kabbalah, Sufism. From all of those I have put arguments here. So it will be a good read for you. And this is one book, Science Fails to Explain Life. I am a scientist, I am a doctor, physician and a geneticist. My function is to talk to scientists. This is a story of life, how scientists fail to explain life. We have no definition of life. We have no idea how life originates. We have no idea what genes is. It's going to dustbin. We don't know anything about life. But there's a Vedic alternative. So I put in very simple words. This is, by the way, a peer-reviewed book. So you can have a look at these books. And now you can ask me questions.
Sorry, the one and